Hi Chetan, Tillotama here.
Hi Tillotama, how are you doing today?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm doing good. You must be tired answering a lot of questions, meaningful
And but
questions.
also grateful because this doesn't happen very often, na?
My first question would be TNM is a remake of a British television with the same name. So, do you think there is any influence of international cinema on Bollywood or vice versa?
I think we are moving towards, I mean, we live in a very global cosmopolitan time. So there, of course, is going to be cross-pollination and we are going to influence each other's work. And I mean, we live in a certain ecosystem that has a porous skin. So ye hoga na?
Yes, and it's beneficial to both the industries as well.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. One direct question is apart from remuneration and the script, what prompted you to do this web series?
Um, I really related to the character. Lipika represents a middle class working professional who is working in a very male dominated world and has to negotiate the corridors of power and male bosses to whom she has to constantly justify that she can do the work.
Mhm,
Uh, and I really it was a very relatable character, and at the same time it was also exciting because she's a raw agent,
mhm.
and it's not something I've played before. uh,
Okay.
and she is obsessed about, it's a David Goliath story.
Mhm,
A small, insignificant raw agent somewhere in a dusty office, obsessed about this massive billionaire industrialist who she believes is his front about being a philanthropist is just a sham, and he's actually a warmonger.
mhm.
So it seemed like a really epic setup. It was being played by an actor like Mr. Anil Kapoor, who has entertained us for decades,
Yes,
so it had
yes.
a lot going for it. And I felt very, very honored when I was offered this part to be considered to be part of this world.
That's great. So, any typical challenges you faced, as you said, while working with legends like Anilji and Aditya?
Any what?
Any
Challenge?
typical challenges or you
No,
something
I,
like
I
that?
mean, there was nothing typical about the situation. This was, every project is so different, and the challenges were of, working during the pandemic, and then we shot in Sri Lanka, which went through a economic recession while we were shooting. So those were
Mhm.
the challenges,
Okay.
and
So, how
uh,
comfortable you were working with Anilji and Aditya Kapoor?
very comfortable.
How they were?
He made sure that we were comfortable. Yeah, he does that. He gets on set and charges everyone up, and is so youthful. And our director Sandeep and Priyanka, treated us with all of us so wonderfully and equally that one felt very supported by one's directors, and Tessa Inklekar was a huge support to me during the shooting of the film, and Priyanka, the co-director with who shot most of my scenes, was
Mhm.
not didn't just support me professionally but emotionally through challenging schedules and so yeah.
That was great. So, any special preparation you have done for this role? Any kind of workshop held by Sandeep or something like that? Or
Yes, there were some acting workshops, but the bulk of it really were my discussions, and it was helpful to have those acting workshops conducted where the basic power dynamics of the characters were discussed, and but after that, I mean that there was a lot of the work was done in very informal exchanges between
Mhm,
the directors and me, where I would have an idea, I would send it to Priyanka in the middle of the night, and the next morning she would like incorporate that in the script and introduce few more ideas.
mhm.
And when she went for a recce, she would send me videos of the place so that I could think of how we could block the scene, and if I had any ideas about that. So she really included me in the whole
The
process
whole
of building the
process.
character. And that was very, very exciting.
So, can you share any special memorable moments that happened during the shoot or after the shoot or something like that?
I mean, the entire thing was special, right? To be
Be
working, like
honest.
we barely come out of the pandemic. There were so many challenges in shooting at that time, and yet to be able to pull off something of this scale. I mean, look at the locations. Look, and it all looks very like larger than life. But we have to remember it was done when the entire world was brought to its knees with the pandemic, and so it's really hats off to the team for being able to pull through, and that for me is a special memory. It was very hard and very challenging, and yet Sandeep really held us all together,
So
and
the
that is very special.
so the pandemic was the challenge.
Yes, wasn't it
Yes,
for all of us? Like
yes, it
I
was.
mean, it became something that it became like the main character, that we had to keep in factor that all the time.
Mhm. So you have done so many characters roles. You are in the industry since 2001, starting from Moonlight. So have you felt in your life that some character when you look कि काश अगर ये मुझे मिलता तो मजा आ जाता? Have you felt some characters in your life that you would have
There's
loved to do
so
that?
many. There are so
For
many.
example,
Like I mean, like I'm a huge fan of Tabu, and I think the women that she has played in Indian cinema is just like I'd give an arm and a leg um, uh, to get those kind of opportunities, and there's so many. So it's hard to but it's also when someone is so good at what they do, and they create a character that's so memorable. Um, I mean, as I got older, it changed from I wish I got that part because you just feel like no one else could have done it like that, and it's perfect that that person, that the actor did that. So when an actor and an entire team creates a character that's so memorable, you can't see sometimes anyone else doing it. So with time, that change has come in where one is more greedy to
to
watch and
watch.
learn what I can do in the next job I get. What can I learn from this performance and this grammar of filmmaking that I can learn from and get, take it into my next work.
So you are now one of the stalwarts in the industry since 20
Oh,
years.
really? Thank you,
Any
sister.
guidance you would
No,
like?
no, no, man. I feel like a बच्चा, because उन 20 सालों में मैंने ज्यादा काम किया नहीं, बहुत काम मिलता था, और उसके बीच में मैंने बहुत दूसरे किस्म के काम किए हैं. मैं पढ़ने चली गई थी, तो I don't feel like an expert. I feel like someone who is patient. I feel like someone who has not didn't give up, and honestly, my work has really picked up in these last 2 years, and I feel I'm very young at
So,
I have no guidance or advice to give except that I mean, if you give up on yourself, then no one else is going to really stand up for you. So
definitely,
I mean,
definitely.
that's all like I can say that you know
So, Tillotama, thanks a lot for your sharing your valued time, and hope the second season gets more impact than the first one. All the
thank you
best.
thank you so much for your
All the
time.
best. Yeah, all the
Thank
best.
you.
Take care. Bye.
You too.